Hello everybody and welcome back. I finally got round to it. I've modified the Allpon Solution HOB 500. If you're not familiar with this unit, go back and have a look. I've done a full review on it. It's quite in depth, and you'll find out what I think of it there. So why did we modify it? The plan was always to modify it. In fact, out of all the other hang-on back canisters, and this is a canister because it's sealed rather than your traditional hang-on back, this one isn't going to overflow. Oase have one, Haiger have one. The Oase one didn't lend itself very well to being modified because of the shape of it. The Haiger one, plus I don't like Oase. The Haiger one was a bit, look at me. This one blends in beautifully and is a very straightforward can. This is the cartridge that you get inside this can. So it's removed quite easily just by holding this little handle here. And as you can see, there is a hole here and a grate system. So the way this canister filter works is the water comes in. It would be that orientation, drops into this tray and then runs down all the way through. And these form a pipe all the way down. It's not actually a pipe, it's just sections of each one of these, and it picks up from the bottom from here. Why did I want to modify this? Because this looked in the reviews that I saw a pain in the backside. And it is. I mean, even now I just want to rip it to pieces and kick it through next door's window. Am I going to be doing this on a weekly basis? Absolutely not. Right. No, I don't want that hassle in my life. This nasty kit is the filter floss that came with it. It was always thin. You see that in the other video. And it is basically just the cheapest of cheap filter floss. So that was never going to be adequate. I did try to maintain it because the filter floss that we sell at events is 2 or 3 centimeters thick, depending on which one you go for, and it can be reused 2 or 3 times before it starts to lose its structural integrity. But even after that, it still has applications. This, there is just no hope. You squeeze it and it fell apart. Yeah, so rather than do what the Geordie did and fill it full of Biohome Ultimate, we thought we'd just get rid of that completely because it is just pointless and use what we could to modify it. Now, explained in that first video, my plans on modifying it was to create this pipe system with a pipe. We've done that. And then the challenge really was how you get the sponge in there, because it was only ever going to be always sponge. So initial thoughts were nice and simple, one big cartridge and fold it over with the pipe in the middle. Not ideal, because then we would have to somehow sort of create a chamber here and a chamber there to sit around the pipe. Otherwise the friction sliding it in and out would have been too much in this area. Also, why didn't I just go for a 3-inch thick or 4-inch single piece? Well, because I couldn't figure out how to drill a hole or create a hole from there to there without wrecking the sponge. If anyone's got any ideas on how you can do that I'd really like to know. So in the end, what we did is we replaced the pipe and we just put varied grades of sponge on it. Okay, so this is what we've gone for. And it works brilliantly, by the way. It really does. So all your sponge comes out. This is the first time I've opened it since doing this. On your pipe, hence the towel. It's not been emptied. And it's as simple as that. You can see that we've got different grades of foam. We've gone for 4 layers of 15 ppi, 2 layers of 35, and we finished up with a 50. I might get rid of this and just put another 35 in, because there is actually, believe it or not, a noticeable difference. It's not huge, but if you're paying attention to it, there is a notable difference in flow with or without the 50 ppi. So, dead simple. If you want to do a nice neat job of putting these holes in, go for it. Just get yourself a wood hole saw, put a 1-inch hole in, but run the drill backwards and it'll cut a neat hole. I just pulled it out with my fingers And these are not all very nice and neatly cut, because 15 ppi and 35 is harder to cut than 50. And I had a very attention hungry 3-year-old hanging off my trousers at the time. Really, I was just going to, for proof of concept, this is not an item that I'm going to be putting on sale. So quality doesn't matter too much as long as it's functional. This is just a 1-inch PVC, and it is 1 inch. This is 25 outside diameter and 21.4 inside diameter. Bit odd size, but 21.4 it fits beautifully. It friction fits onto the impeller housing here with this little doohickey, which is an absolute brilliant little piece of kit. And it just comes off the top tray. There's only one, it is only on the top tray, so it is doing its original job. Its original purpose was to sit around the impeller housing. Should not have taken that off. It's not difficult to put it on, but I've got fat fingers. So once I get that on there, you will all be old and grey, because this is taking me far too long. What's going on here? So that just sits on there. And yes, you possibly could just do 15 ppi all the way through. It might be something I revert back to, just having 15 ppi all the way down, because I do love 15. Sorry, just bump the camera there. And that just friction fits on, like I said. It's quite a snug fit. And then your whole cartridge, once your sponges are lined up, got all your ducks in a row, it just sits in. And there we go. It works brilliantly. It really does. It's just maintaining it is much better. It means I don't have to create tiny little foams in here. And the way I've created the foams, no, they're not perfect. There is likely to be some bypass ability where the water can bypass the sponges, but it's not going to be a lot. And the 50 ppi at the bottom, there is definitely no bypass on that. But yeah, 1-inch PVC and some sponge. And it is massively improved, I promise you. That is how I've chosen to modify the Orpon Solution HOB 500. Go and have a look at the original breakdown of unboxing it and what I thought of it initially. And my thoughts, yeah, they're the same. Well, so guys, with that, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you find a reason to smile today, and I will see you in the next one.